Hi, I'm Caden. I'm a golden bear, and this is my review and reflect for week 1. So ironically, I decided to do this to save time because the instructional I thought would take too long to write out. But it's going on 10 o'clock here. I started a couple hours ago. I keep tweaking it. I keep learning new things. So I'm going to start kind of halfway through on the GitHub part, because that's the part that seems to take the longest. So here I'm going to create a new repository, and we're going to call it Supertest, which I've made this repository several times tonight. And I'm going to clear my console. Alright, so I've created the repository on GitHub, but now I want to download that beautiful repository onto my computer so I can edit files and mess with it and stuff. So I'm downloading this repository, which is ironically just a folder and, you know, an invisible.git. So let's make some changes. Let's create a file. I know I should do a Ruby file, but I'm going to do a JavaScript file. And then I'm going to use Vim to edit this file. Now I have no business using Vim. But I get to do everything in the console, so that's kind of nice. Alright. Let's save that. And then, so if we look at our status here, I have an untracked file. So, you know, this file is not saved in the version control at all. You know, obviously it's not on GitHub, and I can't revert back to this particular point. Let's say I'm super happy. I do want to be able to revert back to this is a beautiful, beautiful point. And I love what I did to this app.js. So I'm going to add that, and now that it's tracked, this is interesting. It's a little, I think it's a Unix, Windows little fight there going on. It works fine, but it's complaining. That's okay. So we added the app.js, so now I'm just going to commit it. Little message there. Add app.js. And then if I do a git status, it should be happy with me again. Only difference. So it's saved on my computer. I can revert back to that stage, but it's not on GitHub. So we're going to push it up to GitHub. Help if I can spell. So there I have pushed my change up to GitHub. And then the second little instructional, just to make sure that I know how to do it, is to fork a repo. So here I am on, that looks familiar, Dev Bootcamp. I am on Dev Bootcamp's page. GitHub's kind of, I think of it as kind of like a social media. It's cloud storage. So here I'm forking it. So I'm taking your GIF picture of a cat and I am putting it on my Facebook page. I'm taking your code that you've worked so hard on, and I want to play with it. So I'm going to put it onto my page. And same thing to get it down. So it's on my page right now, but it's not on my computer. So here I'm going to clone it. And then, oh, I did a very bad thing. This is the thing that you are never, ever, ever supposed to do. I don't even know. I mean, they said over and over and over, don't do this. And this is the first time tonight. This is probably the 5th time I've gone through this. I put a repo inside of another repo. So I'm just going to try to remove it there. And hopefully no bad things happen. I really don't know. We're going to get out of this repo. And we're going to try again. All right. I think we're okay. It looks okay. Doesn't mean a whole lot with computers, but it looks okay. So I've taken your lovely mess of files, I have put them on my GitHub, and then I downloaded them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Vim again, because I had no business using Vim. And I'm going to edit this README. Let's go into insert mode. And I'm going to write Caden was here. And let's save that. And then let's play with branches a little bit. Nothing like a test branch. So branches are useful because everybody's on your team is going to want to mess with specific parts of code, or even if you're making a project by yourself, I suppose. If you mess up a specific feature, if there's a bug in a specific feature, you're going to want to be able to roll that back. But wouldn't it be nice if you could roll back just that specific feature instead of the whole application? Well, you can with version control. Git add, git commit. And then we're going to do another git push, but the origin is going to be test this time because I'm pushing the test branch up to GitHub. So if we come up here, yeah, there it is. Quick as butter. So let's look at this pull request. And I messed up the first time I did this because I didn't change the base fork. That's really important. That I'm trying to merge this onto my own page instead of somebody else's page that I don't have control over. So right here, as a developer, this is, I create pull requests. Probably I would have a description. Probably I would reference somebody else so they would know that I had made this pull request, and I would email it to them or whatever, and then I'd walk away. And I can at this point, I can switch, obviously, and come back to that pull request. So if I was a different developer, it's okay, Caden, 30 seconds ago wanted to merge this. Let's take a look at what he's got here. Okay, what file did he change? Oh, that's a super useful change for this application. I'm gonna say that he can do it. Good job. There we go. And now that test branch has been merged into the master branch. Let's take a look here. So shell, this is the shell, this is bash. This is, you know, it's another way of using your computer instead of using a you know, graphical user interface instead of, you know, mucking through the files that way. It's really cool that you can download stuff on that. I find that really useful, that you don't have to go through a bunch of pop-ups, and I don't have to make sure that I didn't subscribe to something I didn't want to. So the commands, I went through a lot of them, or I used a lot of them, but this is print working directory. You know, this is the directory I'm working in. I've moved around quite a bit with, you know, that cd command. ls I've used a lot, which tells you, hey, what other files are in here with me. Move, let's see here. I can't remember what supertest. Yeah, of course. So let's say I want to make a directory named test in supertest. That makes a lot of sense. And then I want to move my app.js file into test. That's obviously how I do it. Although if I just leave it with a file extension of s, it would do that for me. It would change the name of that. To make directory, I just made a directory. Remove, I don't think I've done that. But rm is obviously to delete a file, and it needs a parameter. And then if you want to delete a folder, I think you have to have the f flag. If you want to delete everything in a folder, you need to do it recursively, and the f, I don't actually know what the f flag does. Help is useful sometimes. It'll tell you a bunch of commands, and if you go help on a specific command, sometimes it'll tell you. So, okay, print working directory. But if I go help ls, it says, we can't help you with that one. Maybe it's too basic. It doesn't feel like it's necessary. I don't really know. Find will here. Find, so I want to check that supertest directory, and I want to look for an app.js file. Oh, it's because I'm in supertest. That would explain it. Well, actually, I can find in test. I forgot that I moved that. So there we go. You know, the app.js file is inside that test folder. And then grep is if I want to search for a string in a file. I keep checking the time here. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. So I think I have this inside that app.js file. I can't remember. Yeah, there we go. This is a JavaScript file that doesn't do anything. So I was able to find that string that I was looking for. And then if you wanted to search a folder, and we're going to look for JavaScript this time. You need to do it recursively, so it'll check through all the files and folders. And we're checking test. Right? Yeah, there we go. So that's the file that has my string that I was looking for. I hope I touched through everything. Happy coding.